Hi guys, TitleTube here, and today I'm actually doing something a little bit different to the channel. Obviously, I haven't really done many videos, obviously, may have a laugh about that, but oh well. I'm actually doing some FUT Champions recording gameplay, but I'll talk about that at the start of the first match. But this is the team I'm using. It's a good team. Obviously, I did used to have Smalling, but I'm playing with the 4-3-3 brackets 4, which is a good formation because obviously informed Dele Alli fits in there well. But it starts off, the game as average, usual, attacking, defending and things like that. But then I do start to break off, but Dele Alli unfortunately doesn't really have enough pace and it starts to lag, and then speedrun comes in and I obviously lose the attack because internet was pretty poor at the time. But it does start to get better throughout the video. Obviously it is obviously a lot better at the moment, but it does start to get better, especially in further games. But then he does make a mistake there, which deflects off his player, which leads to Gray having a shot, but unfortunately it is saved. But this guy actually had a BPL team. He had some good players and some bad players, but he was all round. He had a decent team. But with this player, he wasn't actually that good. He didn't really use his chance as well, because he didn't really get a lot, but he did get some, which could have caused him to come level with me, but unfortunately he didn't. But Milner hits a really nice finesse there, but unfortunately his goalkeeper actually managed to handle that. I usually see them parry them type of shots, but he actually managed to grab that in two hands and stop it. But then later on in the 35th minute, I actually managed to get another attack. Again, Gray pinches the ball, plays it to Dele Alli, but Dele Alli unfortunately doesn't get the shot away because Bekovic gets in the way and manages to save it. But then I do get a corner, which leads to nothing. Then I cross it in again, which unfortunately Zuma just misses. Just misses, unfortunately. It was so close, but oh well. Then basically, this attack wasn't really anything bad because he managed to take a shot, but it was a pretty poor shot. He should have really started playing it around more, getting the ball around a bit more. But then I do get on the attack again in this half, which Moses' shot is blocked by his defender. I think he has David Luiz. Yeah, he had David Luiz, which was a good defender, obviously. But then there was a real scramble at the 45th minute here. I don't even know what happened, to be honest. Dele Alli somehow hits a scissor kick when the ball, everyone's diving in the way and everything, but unfortunately he doesn't actually get the goal away. But anyway, I do manage to get another attack in the second half, it was an okay attack, but I think I played it to Gray, which Gray actually got a parry, but then obviously it was a pretty bad goal, but it went in, which I'm not complaining, but it was a pretty bad attack, but then somehow led to a goal. But anyway, I do obviously start dominating here, which I keep on stopping his attacks, and then I start going on the attack again with Tripper. My right back for some reason actually started to come out, but I had to take a long shot there because Dele Alli just isn't fast enough to take on players in defence. But then I do get a corner, which actually doesn't really lead to much, and then he starts to break. But I don't know, it doesn't really lead to much, but then Kante managed to pass it back to Milner, Milner back to Kante, but then obviously my attack was stopped in the end, and then his attack started again. But then obviously buffering comes in again in this game, and it fast runs, I don't really know what's happening, I'm trying to defend, but Butland pulls off a really good save there, stop him from scoring to make it 2-1, which was pretty good. I was good at the time, but obviously he didn't really do well in this game at all. He didn't manage to put away his chances while I was lagging and his other chances he had. But then I do stop his corner, but then he does actually get to go on a slight attack, but then it's stopped. But then I start to go on attack again. I play in Gray here to the left of me because he makes a really good run, but obviously it is stopped by two defenders. But then he starts to make an attack, which actually turns out to be a really good one, because he plays in Martial here, which he has, I can't remember his formation, but it was a pretty good one, but he doesn't manage to put away his chance again. He should have done it low and driven into the bottom right corner, which would have gotten him a goal, but unfortunately he didn't use his chances right. But anyway, I do manage to pass it out, and then I get another attack, but I'm not quite sure. I think it actually does lead to something here, but obviously it was offside. and it could have been a foul there, but I was obviously offside, so he didn't give the foul. But anyway, he does manage to go on the attack here. But basically he kind of like starts to stop it, but then he doesn't, because Moses managed to get us a penalty here. I don't really know why he dived in, but he did for some reason. I don't really know why, but he just dived in hoping for the best, but didn't really get it. But for some reason this bar pops up, and I managed to get an easy penalty there because of the bar. But I probably would have put it away anyway, because I always go to the right, but yeah, he dived the wrong way, but usually it isn't there. But anyway, I do manage to get another attack. Again, Gray actually passed it to Dele Alli, but Dele Alli's shot is saved. But then here, I don't really know what happens here. I hit a shot there, his keeper parries it, but then Milner gets the scrappiest goal I've ever seen in my FIFA career. I mean, generally, he hit it through, I think it was through a player's legs, and then deflected into his net, which is quite unfortunate for him, but I managed to make it 4-0, which was an easy win. The stats, he dominated on possession, but shot-wise, I did dominate him, because I obviously got 9 on target, and he only had about 3 or 4 shots. But then, the second game starts. This guy, I did actually forget to play his team again, forget to record it. But then I do get to start off attack straight in the half, but unfortunately leads to nothing because Gray doesn't get his head on it. But anyway, he does start an attack, but it doesn't, I don't think it really leads to anything that was obviously scary in any way, because he does play it out wide here, which is a good ball, but then David Luiz stops it, which was quite a simple stop, but it was a good tackle, and it was good, obviously, stopping an attack which could have led to a goal. But then I do go on the attack again, but Gray's injured, and I can't really do much about that, and the fact that he did put in a good tackle which stopped my attack. Then he does manage to get an attack which hits the bar, and then he does an overhead kick which misses, unfortunately. But he did have a really sweaty team. He had Muriel up the top, and he had like Eder and things like that. I don't know how you say his name, Eder or Eder. But this guy, he had a BPL back, he had Vorm in goal, but for some reason was bringing out his goalkeeper. When I'm back with Dele Alli, who doesn't have a lot of pace. He could have caught up with me with that player, but he for some reason brings out his goalkeeper, which is an easy goal for me. But he does do this later on in the game as well. I mean, he is obviously a good player, you know. He got a few attacks out of it, and obviously he got a few good attacks. I think he managed to get a goal, but Muriel's a really good turn on me. But then, unfortunately, his crosshair leads to him just missing, which was quite unfortunate. But lucky for me. But then I actually managed to go on the attack, but obviously it stopped. But then I do manage to go on it again. Moses makes a really good run out on the wing, but then I just decide to have a shot, which obviously is saved. He actually had Vorm in goal. I think he plays for Tottenham. Yeah, he plays for Tottenham, and he's their reserve. I'm not quite sure if he's their reserve, but I do make a really good run there. But then he brings out his goalkeeper, I don't know, like 40 metres out of his goal, just to header a ball and stop me on the attack. Because if I actually would have been on the attack there, he would have been screwed. I would have got another goal. But then he does go on another attack again, but he just puts it wide, which was unlucky for him. But it was quite lucky, because he was getting quite a lot of chances in this match, but I was somehow, you know, not letting the goals in, and Butland was just pulling off some really good saves. But I don't know what I'd done there, but then, oh my god, what was that for a shot? I mean, I don't know whether it was meant to happen, meant to go out for a throw-in for me, but it didn't, and it went out for a goal kick. But that was awful. But in the 45th minute, I do manage to get another chance, but his goalkeeper gets a hand to it and stops it. But then nothing much really happens after this, and then it hits half-time. But I do manage to stop his attack again, make another attack with Moses, but unfortunately it just goes wide. His keeper didn't actually get a touch on that. I thought he did in the game, but he actually didn't. But then he was passing out quite a lot, but then sometimes he was just booting up there, but nothing really happened. He does manage to get a few attacks out again, but I managed to obviously defend them and stop him from scoring. But then I see the run of Gray there, and it's an absolutely beautiful ball. But then he starts to bring his keeper out, pulls him back. But then he was actually about to bring him out again, but I managed to take a shot, but unfortunately it hits the post and misses. But he does actually go on to another attack, but then I don't really know what happened there. He got a really jammy goal there. I mean, I don't know what I was doing in the back. I don't know why I was trying to pass out, but when the replay comes, I actually, I don't know what happened there. He got a really, really jammy volley, which then led to him to score. But it was actually in the 80th minute, which was a bit annoying for me. But he did manage to get a header there, but that was actually really close, which it will show in a minute when the ball goes out next. But it was actually really close. He managed to get 2 chances here, but Button saves that one again. But before the corner, look how good this save was. He saved me yet again. I mean, look at that. He just pulled it off the line. That was a mental save from Butland yet again. Obviously, I do put it to defensive because he's actually starting to get a bit worrying on his attack. But then I do manage to break in the 90th minute with Gray. He's got loads of pace, and I managed to just finesse around the keeper because he brings him out to make it 2-1. Which, this was actually probably one of the harder games out of the 4 I played. Obviously, I do actually start to win more, which the next game was actually really easy for me. So I do manage to get into it, but I do remember to film his team. He has an average team, but for some reason, he's got Musa in centre mids when he's a striker. So obviously he's trying to get a bit of pace in the midfield, but then he does have a good defence, apart from Williams, I think his name is. But he's average, but his other 2 defenders were good. Smalling and Biley are good at the back. I used to have them, but then the start of the game, average again, I start to run forward, but obviously that tactic doesn't work. I actually always do that because sometimes it does work, but it's every now and then when it works and every now and then when it doesn't. But he does manage to get a really good chance here with Ericsson, but Butland pulls off another brilliant save, and David Luiz is just there to clear it out and get rid of it. But then this corner, everyone's doing this little tactic here where they go to pass it, but his didn't work, obviously, because for some reason he's actually walked it out off the pitch. But then I do manage to get a really, it was like scruffy, but it wasn't really scruffy. But it was a good goal. Dele Alli's nice finesse into the bottom left corner, where the keeper had no chance. He did have Butland as well, but his Butland wasn't actually as good, playing as good as mine at the time being. Because my Butland was playing really, really good. But anyway, I do manage to get a goal out of that. But then this I don't know what it was. He tried to do a chip there, but it didn't work. It just didn't work. And then I started to go on the break with Kante actually starting to pass out, which Kante is really OP in this game, but Dele Alli makes an absolute beautiful run, started to outpace the defenders for once, and just flicks it over the keeper and manages to get a really, really nice goal out of it. But he does have not very many attacks, but I managed to get a really nice goal out of it. But then the second half obviously has come already. But David Luiz managed to stop another attack. David Luiz is actually really, really good at the back. But I do start to play Gray on the right side. But it leads to an absolute beautiful first-time volley from Dele Alli. What a mental goal. First-time strike. Bang. The keeper just stood there and watched it. Look at the replay. Look. An absolute beautiful smash straight into the bottom left corner. He was actually really good that game. He got a hat-trick, and I managed to actually get a rage quit out of this, which was obviously good because I got basically automatically through into semi-finals. But that, actually, wait, is it the final next? I'm not actually quite sure. I think it was the semis next. No, it wasn't. It was actually the final. But the final, it was actually really difficult for me, the final. I did start off well, but then, yeah. But the stats, he was all over me on possession in the last game. But then somehow, I managed to get all them shots away without getting possession. I think it was because he mainly passed around the back. But with this game, actually started off really well in this game. He had a decent team, decent Bundesliga team, but he had Trapp in goal, which I don't really see why he had him. He could have had Leno and people like that who got strong links, but he didn't really have it. But anyway, he did have Bellarabi's Movember card, which was really OP. But the game started off with him running through Bellarabi, because Bellarabi's actually a really good Bundesliga player. I used him, but I think he's actually really good. But anyway, the game starts off him starting to build an attack, which then David Luiz stops. But then I actually start to counter after he gets the ball back. Obviously, he gets another chance here, but obviously he misses it. but as soon as this corner ended here. But actually what happens here is I go on the break, and it's actually a really good break, and I managed to actually somehow get a goal out of this with a great ball down the wing to Martial, but an absolutely beautiful header from Gray just into the bottom left corner. Actually brilliant goal. Actually hit the post and went in, which was actually really good for Gray. But anyway, obviously I'm 1-0 up, but this guy is really making loads of mistakes here. I have another long shot chance which just goes wide, but I don't know what he's doing here. He passes it to a player when Moses is in front, so I'm like, oh, I'll take the shot quickly, but unfortunately, obviously, he misses. Gray goes for a header, but he parries it out for some reason. Yeah, it was going to hit the post and go out. So I don't really know why goalkeepers do that on FIFA, but I managed to get a good chance out of this. He's getting really nervous. He's throwing it out, just trying to do everything, just getting out of there, you know. But he doesn't like booting it in this game. But I managed to play Gray in here, which he actually manages to outpace his defender, but for some reason he takes me down in the box, so I get a penalty, and I could make it 2-0 here, but it was obviously a good chance for me, and I took it and finished it into the bottom right corner. Actually, it wasn't really bottom, I'm not quite sure, I think it was middle right. It was a good goal from Coutinho, my actual penalty taker. But anyway, I do manage to go 2-0 up, but again, he's just passing it everywhere. He's hoping that it just somehow makes an attack, but Dele Alli gets a nice shot there, and if that went in, that would have been the goal of the actual qualifying rounds. That was an absolute mental goal. Dele Alli again hits the post again. He was on fire this game, but somehow he does start to go on the attack. Finally, he starts to get some more attacks in, and this attack actually managed to lead him to a goal. He actually does a skill move goal here, which was actually pretty good. That's pretty good. Obviously, I knew what I'd come against. I was in the final, which I didn't really qualify that much for this, but it was the final, and obviously I knew I was going to come against some good players. One of them had a EA Sports kit, but I left that one because obviously, yeah, EA Sports kit means he's qualified loads. But he does actually manage to get a really good goal out of that. The goal, I give him credit for that finish. That was a good finish. But then it does actually come to half time here, and it was a good half. You know, 2-1. It was a good half for me. But then the second half, I don't know what happened to me really. I was just scrambles at the back, really shambolical at the back. I was just losing the ball all the time. He plays in a really good ball here, but Butland pulls off an absolute amazing save. But then David Luiz keeping out yet again. David Luiz, an absolute legend himself. But anyway, he is really good on FIFA, I think. But anyway, he does actually manage to get another shot again, but obviously it does actually go wide. But anyway, he does the corner tactic again, manages to get it into the box, but then it is scrambles here. I was just scrambling out, trying to get rid of it, because I didn't really know what was going on. But I do manage to get an attack this half, the first attack of the half. And it leads to a pretty good chance, but unfortunately I don't take it. I do manage to get a nice cross in here, but unfortunately he just gets a header on it. But then I get a shot with Coutinho, which just goes wide. So close, but unfortunately it is still 2-1. And lucky for him, but he was still making the same mistakes, and Gray just puts it wide again. I'm getting so many chances here, but I'm just not putting them away. And he makes the same mistake again. I managed to cut it into Dele Alli, get a shot away, but deflects it again. He's doing some good defending. But then I do manage to get another chance here, which unfortunately I start to play it through, but unfortunately obviously is stopped. Then he does go on a few more attacks, but I managed to get on the attack again from the same type of mistakes, but I do manage just to put it wide again. So close. But then he does start to pass out again. He doesn't like booting out, and he's passed it straight to me again. But then I do manage to win it back finally, playing a great ball to Gray, but it just goes wide again. I could be that 5-1 up in this final, but no, I haven't taken my chances properly, which could lead to something bad later on. But then obviously I do manage to stop most of his attacks, but not all of them. Obviously he's getting through here. Coman, great ball in, Butland stops it, and he misses an open goal. The best chance of the game you're probably going to get, and he misses it. But then Dele Alli doesn't touch it right here. It would have been great if he touched it on his foot, carried on running. He would have probably got a goal out of that, but unfortunately it wasn't a good touch, but he's doing the skill moves, which he was obviously pretty good at. Plays in Coman, gets a good shot away here, but unfortunately he's deflected wide, so he gets a corner out of this, which was... I don't think it led to anything much, because I think he scored later on, I think, which obviously all the chances I missed led to him, basically, me starting to lose the plot at the back of it, and then he finally does actually go and score. Not in this clip, obviously I'm on the attack here, managed to get another shot, but his keeper's parried out again. Which his keeper was doing okay this game. I mean, he was stopping most of my attacks, but then I do manage to get a header on goal here, which his keeper manages to save yet again, and I managed to get another header, but his keeper just somehow saves it, and I give away a foul there, but obviously he plays advantage. Then he does go on the break on this one. He does get a really good attack, and then unfortunately, obviously I think that should have been a foul there, but then he obviously goes on the attack when it should have been a foul, but he managed to get through two players somehow. He plays out wide to Coman, which is a great runner, and I don't know why I weren't marking him, and manages to score a pretty shabby goal, which goes through Butland's legs. Unfortunately, obviously there's always one goal, which is bad, but I managed to actually stop that. But then I instantly go back up with Gray, running through his entire team, the tactic I love to do, and I don't know what happened here. I hit his player got on the way, and I managed to score instantly in the 89th minute, saving the game for me, and I managed to win this game and qualify for FUT Champions weekend, which I will be putting up probably I'll probably get it up by the Saturday.